It's an interesting thing, Rock, putting yourself out there,
Yeah.
to an audience, to a crowd. I mean, even just like doing what we were doing with improv, just getting on the stage and doing that silly stuff, because like people can judge, people can judge you so hard, man. And you're just kind of trusting and kind of believing that what you're putting out there is going to be all right. It's going to be good, going to be funny,
I mean, that's what we want to think, right? I mean, there's a lot of people who do improv that don't think about that, like don't think about the value that the viewer is getting as long as we do improv fundamentals, right? Like trust your partner and be honest, and you know what I mean?
That's interesting.
But there's a part of the craft where, people pay to see it, or people want to see it, and it is an art form, and it is entertainment. It's not only therapeutic to the artist, is I guess what I'm saying. So, I mean, that comes, I feel like, as a showman, that I know I am, razzle dazzle, like I like the stage time, I guess. There's a value and an importance that entertainers should consider when they are playing their character in this type of time. I mean, like, what I'm trying to say is you gotta always input reality into your craft in improv. And that's what makes it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's what makes
it. You gotta have the realness, man. You gotta have some realness, otherwise you're lost in a lot of nonsense, fake stuff that ain't really real, I mean, honestly, that's what happens when you get lost in the plot and trying to think about stuff and plan stuff out, Improv is the most real when it is about you and your scene partners and that moment in the stage and what you're both feeling and what's going on in the air, what kind of crowd it is, the energy that's in the air, just connecting with all of that.
Right.
It's the realness, man. It really is the realness.
Oh, absolutely. And I guess that's what I mean by, you got a responsibility to give to your audience, because at the end of the day, that might shoot you too, right? Like being as real as you can be might be translate. I mean, you know how many times I've been like low-key called racist after improv shows? Like, and because of, you have been in that shop, and a lot of colored people there playing on Friday, Saturdays, as a house team and shit like that. And it was just funny for me to experience because my whole team was white, and it's like I didn't get any support or backup for being called racist.
Man, that's wild.
Happens. I loved it. Well, Dave Chappelle said that this genre is a truest art form. It is. You're right.
Comedy.
Because it's like, it's funny because it's true. That saying is really real. It is funny because it's true.
Right, man. There was something you were saying I wanted to counterpoint you on, man. You were saying something about
the responsibility for the...
Oh, yeah, to play to the audience, right, exactly. Yeah, so to me, I think when you honor the craft, because to me it's like, it's bad if you play to the audience, because then it can be pandering, you can sell out your scene, sell out your characters.
Good point.
To me, it's like when you honor the craft, honoring the work itself, it's going to hit the audience, man. It's going to hit you got to trust in the work, instead of jumping for the laughs.
True.
You got to trust that what you're doing is good, because if the audience isn't laughing, sometimes you can think it's bad, but sometimes they're not laughing because they're leaning in. They're interested, and that to me is more, it's interesting. It's more interesting to me than a laugh because they're buying into this. They're buying into this fake shit, this make-believe shit that's going on the stage. They're buying into it. They're like, oh my God, what's going to happen with that fireman?
I know a fireman just like that. No, yeah, you're right, man. You're right. That's absolutely true. You got to be real to the art form.
Man, I've always dreamed of doing a show where it would just be serious for like 25 minutes. And
Those
then
are
at the
awesome
very
shows.
end, just one big laugh. That's then lights.
It's hard to plan that though, right?
Now, you can't plan it. You got to just play it. You just got to play it so serious, and you got to refuse every instinct to make it funny.
I mean, true improv is not always funny. It's supposed to be real as fuck.
Right.
And performers know that, but if you're, improv, when we started or you started, a lot of people didn't know what it was kind of thing. Like, they weren't really hip to what improv was. I think a lot has progressed in the last 5 years, that improv is getting its kind of light and stuff, even, getting made fun of, but
it's changing. The improv scene is transforming.
Yeah. Which is good. Art forms should change.
Yeah, they should grow. I mean, they got to evolve. I mean, what is art if it doesn't evolve with the times?
I used to call it whites only art form, because it's like a white sport. It's like white people loved improv. They still do, but I'm just saying it was very white.
It is. Yeah, I remember when back in the day when I was starting, it was very hokey, very jokey. It was very bitty.
It was very bitty, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's when it wasn't really real. I mean, you gotta have real people do this craft.
Right. And you gotta be real vulnerable to be willing to go real, man.
You gotta understand how to be vulnerable and then do it, and be okay with doing it, not do it.
Right.
Because we don't voluntarily become vulnerable, right? Like, I'll be vulnerable. It's more like, okay, something happens and you have a choice to be vulnerable, and you have to be okay with that choice. I think that's the breakdown, and it's really important.
It is, man. I mean, being vulnerable is one of the hardest things, I think, in the world. I mean, we're all guarded in this world. I mean, just in the way we walk around, the way we interact with each other, stuff like that. It's just like, I mean, we're generally pretty guarded. I mean, a lot of people have, anxiety, social anxiety to some level. Most people go out, don't really look each other in the eyes, say hi, say hello. It's rare. I mean, so, people do it, but it's not as common as it should be, really.
Oh, trust me, I get it. I'm one of those guys who do it. So when, most of places I go to, most groups of people don't do it.
Right.
And I didn't get that until later on in my life. Like, man, what's wrong with these motherfuckers? There's nothing wrong with these motherfuckers. It's just, people are different. People are different. It's
true. But yeah, I mean, it's just on the general idea of vulnerability and just talking about how hard it can be for people. I mean, I don't know what it is. I mean, we live in a society that basically conditions us, to put up our guards and put on a show, for other people. Because we got it. I mean, because everybody cares so much about what everybody else is thinking about them,
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why I do love improv, because if you're doing it right, it's very real.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people care about what other people think about them. But yeah, being real, it's hard. It's hard to be real because it's like, it's the fear of, again, vulnerability. Well, like, if I put myself out there, what happens? What if this person judges me? What if I look stupid? What if I try and I fail? What if everybody in the restaurant sees? It's like what I was talking about with Habibi last time, talking about what if you go up to the girl and she says no to you, or she laughs at you, it's like, that's the kind of stuff that put fear in dudes' hearts and
or doubt.
Just paralyze people.
That's true. It's something that affects everyone, but you're right, man. If you don't have an ideology already set in your mindset that says these things might happen,
right,
and I'm okay with it, you know what I mean? Like, expecting the unexpected. You have to be okay with expecting the unexpected.
Exactly.
And that's what kind of you should get people through things. If that's what gets me through things, is what I'm saying, is I expect someone's gonna call me a dumb fuck or a weirdo, or not understand me, because shit, people are dumb fucks. People are weirdos. People are misunderstood. I'm not the first one. So that comforts me. And the funniest things come from me. Like, there's dumber people than me doing better. That comforts me. Meaning, one, I got to step up. Like, I can do more, right? I can take more risks. I can do more things because there's dumber people doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's like, it motivates me. Like, it makes me feel okay about doing dumb things or taking that leap of faith.
I mean, I get that. I understand that. I mean, because it's like, you're capable at the end of the day. You can do it. It's just, it's a matter of willpower, putting that desire to action.
Yeah.
Figuring out that action plan.
It's also knowing that if you hit a fucking wall and you fall, it's cool.
Yeah.
I use the analogy of building up your foundation. And so when you build up your foundation, you can play on it, right? And so you can do all this other stuff on your foundation. And if those things fail, it's cool because you're falling on the foundation you built. But all the things you're playing with, if it helps, if it's creating good things, if it's working, then that becomes your foundation. So now your foundation's up here. And you build on that, right? So like if you fail, if you make a mistake, you're falling back on a foundation that you trusted and know that you are falling to a level that you were at, not way past that level. That mentally can help people thinking, if I take this leap of faith, I have everything to lose. Sometimes you have to know that if I take a leap of faith, maybe I just go back to where things were. You know what I mean?
Yes, it'll be okay.
It'll be okay. A lot of people forget that sometimes.
Man, a lot of people I don't think they know it in the first place, man.
Yeah.
It's just everything is so dang important, man. It's like we're living in a movie, man. We're playing out the movie in the head, it's like, it's my crush. I gotta walk up to her. I gotta do everything right. I gotta have the bouquet, and I gotta say the right pickup line, and then she's gonna love me forever. It's like they got the whole plan in their head, man, and they just don't want to make one false move and lose it.
Makes good movies, though.
I think about life stuff a lot. I think about stuff that holds people back, because for a long time, I was always trying to figure out, like, what was holding me back,
Same.
Just working, just looking at life like, man, what the heck? We're all promised the world in those damn high school graduations. Like, man, y'all gonna be so great, man. Y'all don't even know. It's like, y'all gonna mess up. Man,
it's misleading.
Yeah.
Or it's not taken seriously. Like when people, when you hear, when you're a kid, you can do anything you put your mind to. That is the realest shit to teach, but it doesn't get properly taught.
Yeah, it's true.
It stops at a goofy phrase that people say, and it should be the realest shit you remember in school. You can do anything if you put your mind to it. But it's not explained, and you don't see an example, and you don't believe it, and you take it for granted, right? But that is the most important shit you can probably keep in your mind.
It's true. You can always put will to power, but they're not the people. You can do anything you want to do, but nobody really tells you the work that you got to put into it. I think is the thing. They don't teach you that it takes a journey.
They underestimate it.
Right.
Because if I go through it, and it's hard as fuck, because it is, but I finally make it to where I wanted to be, and I did it. And so I can comfortably tell D, yo, D, you could do it. I did.
Yeah.
But, we both have different thresholds and resiliences. It's different.
It's different. I mean, it's just, to me, it's always just will to power, man. It's just you gotta be able to take power over what you can take power over. It's just, to me, it's a question of what are you trying to do, and whatever you're trying to do. I mean, there's steps to doing it. It's just, to me, it's just doing it, just taking those steps.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to become
easier said than done, right? But yeah,
I know it is. I mean, it is easier said than done because it takes time. But it's like, if from here to now, like 0 to 100, I wanted to become a DJ, like there's steps I could take, man, that could have me playing in like clubs and stuff in 5 years, you know?
Yeah. But those steps that you take, there's also compromises you have to make. That's one of the steps you have to make.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to break down in a granular way what those steps are, because those steps are really what it's at. Right. Like step 1, give up everything that you were expecting. That is a real step.
Right. I mean, it's about, to me, it's about.
Yeah. Step 2, drink water.
No. Yeah, no, what you said about give up expectation is very true, man, because it's always been this thing of like, you want to hit the Powerball, basically, it's like you want to come up with this song, that's just going to be so good, that's just everybody's going to listen to, and it's like you can lose so much time thinking about it and planning it, and that's a lot of wasted time, first of all, but then when you finally do make that song, and it doesn't do anything, all those hopes and dreams, man, like that stuff right there can crush you and stop you and make you from ever doing another one.
All those expectations.
Exactly, expectations.
Not necessarily hopes and dreams.
Yeah, I mean, tomato, but yeah, I get you.
You gotta really compress things down. Seriously, because that's what, people get the wrong idea from. There's hopes and dreams, and then there's wishful thinking, and then there's, expectations.
Right.
I expect to be a millionaire, but it's also my hopes and dreams. Now, my hopes and dreams are great, but my expectation is due to something, right? Due to a motive, due to something. There's a reason why I expect it. Hopes and dreams is, comes and goes kind of sometimes, and you can hold on to something without ever putting energy into it. So it remains a hope and a dream. Expectation could come to reality, and something makes it come to reality. If it doesn't come to reality, you shouldn't have been expecting it.
No. Yeah, man. I mean, all you can do is what you can do.
I don't know what I'm saying.
I think it's best to let go of expectation. I mean, what you were saying,
Well, expect the unexpected.
Expect the unexpected. Have an improv mindset. Be ready for anything.
Yes, and.
Yes, and.